All right, welcome back. This is episode 4
4
of BeerFormers. I'm glad you're all here to watch it with us. We've covered several topics so far. We're not going to go through every single one because as we keep this going, the list will just get longer and longer. But last episode we talked about the original Generation 1 Megatron.
Yeah.
And all the fun that goes along with that toy. And so to counterbalance that today,
you're going with the OG, right?
We're going with the OG again. We're going to talk about Generation 1 Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
So the original.
That's the one.
The original Optimus Prime. Now, some of these toys are 40 years old now. This is the anniversary year of Transformers. They came out in 1984.
Yeah.
Was the first year they hit the shelves.
I was 10 years old.
And so some of these ones I have the original one of, but due to the nature of it being a 40-year-old toy, they're probably a little fragile here. But for some of these, at least, I do have reissues. They've been put out some special reissues over the years where they literally just make the toy again.
Okay.
Put it in a special set.
Yeah.
And so that's why I have the Optimus Prime here. So we'll let Noel. This will be the one Noel actually gets to transform today.
He's not real original.
Yeah, he's original in every way. He's just not 40 years old.
Okay.
He's probably going more like 20.
Okay.
Now, so he's an older toy, just not as old.
I feel better about that.
So a little bit of history of Optimus Prime, real quick here. All the Transformers came from Japan. They were part of pre-existing toy lines that the Japanese were enjoying at the time that weren't Transformers.
What was the toy line?
Most of them were from a Japanese toy line called Diaclone.
Diaclone.
Yeah, like diamond and clone. They put those two words together somehow. I'm not sure where the diamond came from. It's supposed to symbolize, hey, this is high class stuff or something. I don't know. I've never heard that one very well.
Know.
But and then the Diaclone universe, the Transformers were just robots that people drove.
Oh.
But when I had representative from Hasbro went over to like Tokyo Toy Fair, saw the toys, said, "Oh, that'd be cool, and can we license those and bring them to America?" They worked out a deal. They hired people from Marvel Comics to come up with names and the biographies of stuff. Thank you, Bob Budiansky, by the way, for coming up with all that fiction.
Have you ever seen anything like the brainstorming sessions that went into the names?
No,
I don't know. What didn't make it? That would be fun to see.
But I alluded to in a previous video how some of the names of some of the Japanese Transformers, I'm probably not the only one, but I'll keep it specific to me. To my ears, don't sound as cool. If you're a Japanese person, you probably would fight me. So that's a great name, okay? But this is just me. So
if you're one of those people, please comment below and tell him he's an idiot.
So we'll mention Stampy again, the Japanese Transformer that turned into a rabbit, or Randy. We mentioned that. We'll mention those two again. So when this toy was in Japan, before it was a Transformer, it was a figure called Convoy. Not a horrible name.
No, it's a good name for a truck.
He turns into a semi-truck.
We got a big old convoy.
But for whatever reason, they wanted to give him a name that sounded grandiose as the leader of the good guys. And so they came up with Optimus Prime.
Which is a great name.
Which is kind of like a loose Latin for first and best.
Yeah.
So
it's amazing. It's a great name.
So this toy got brought over. They made up a new fiction for him. They came up with the faction symbols, and the rest, as they say, is history. This one as a reissue, what made this one unique as a reissue, primarily, I think was the big selling point for it was, it came with two things that had never been packaged with this toy before. One was a Action Master. I've mentioned that almost every time. We're going to do the Action Masters eventually, I swear. Action Master Optimus Prime, which was a smaller figure, about yay big compared to the figure I have here. That was just an action figure. It didn't transform.
Right.
It had, it came with like weapons and vehicles that could transform.
But why was that fun?
Well, it kind of killed the line, to be honest with you.
Okay.
When the Action Masters came out in 1990, the Transformers went away in the United States.
But why did they do that? Nobody knows.
Yeah, they were
There's
trying.
Never been good theories about it.
That was the same time they came out with Micro Masters, which were they were trying to compete with Micro Machines.
Except they weren't tiny like that.
I know. So it was they were just trying something. They were just trying things, and it didn't stick, and so Transformers went away. So it came with Action Master Optimus Prime, who was done in colors that were more akin to his cartoon appearances, whereas the original Action Master Optimus Prime figure did not have the same coloration. It was the basics. You look at it, it was Optimus Prime.
The blue and red.
But they did some recolors on that action figure. And this one came with something that never had been included with Optimus Prime before, and that is...
It's a spark!
It's the Matrix.
Oh, shoot.
The Matrix of leadership, yeah. So...
That was the Allspark.
In the movie, in the animated Transformers film, Transformers the movie, it gets revealed that he has this thing in his chest that holds all the knowledge of all the previous primes.
Oh.
He can call upon that, and you have to be like a chosen one to carry it. And something happens, and another chosen one is chosen, and blah blah blah. It's all in the movie. You know, you got to watch Transformers the movie at some point if you've never seen it.
Yeah, it's great, but oh my gosh, when you saw it came with that, did you lose your mind?
Yeah, he even had a chain with it, so you could wear it as a necklace. But I'm like, no, it's got to go in his chest.
That is so cool.
The way
Look
it
at that.
kind of does in the movie, you know. So,
that's awesome.
So they kind of engineered it to go inside there. So these old ones, as we mentioned here, this is part of a toy line called Diaclone. There's cockpits. So they actually had little figures that could ride in it. So they didn't change the molding for that when they brought these in the United States. So the first couple of years, Transformers had that kind of in common. Everybody had some sort of cockpit. You're like, why is there an opening cockpit where there's nothing to go inside? But that's why. Okay. That's why. So in addition to Optimus, which I'll put over here by Noel now, he came with his base trailer here, which we'll hold up here
with
real
Roller.
Quick. Yeah, we mentioned this. We mentioned this already. And I don't know if you knew this, Noel, but Roller can shoot out, you know. So that's kind of cool.
I didn't know that.
So this is his trailer. It turns into a repair station. So this part here, this robot.
What's that robot's name? Repairer?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. These in the fiction are all.
What's in your head
all
canon?
Part of Optimus Prime. There's no head canon here in this one again. So these are all part of Optimus Prime. So they're just like extensions of him. So the Roller, which we mentioned in a previous video, was just part of Optimus Prime. This is part of Optimus Prime. You know, yada yada.
Yeah.
So this becomes a base that becomes the tractor, the trailer part of it. So we'll put it over here because Noel's going to get transformed now.
Oh, I got to do that too. Do I have to turn it back into a truck?
You can turn the whole thing back into a truck. Yeah.
Okay. This is great.
So voiced by the great Peter Cullen, who recently won an award for all of his voice acting over the years. Yeah. The fun fact about that is that he was going in for the job interview for this role to be Optimus Prime. He had been in several other things. If you watched in the 80s, like if you watched Dungeons & Dragons cartoon, he was the voice of Venger, the bad guy. He was the original voice of Eeyore in Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh, wow.
And the list could go on and on. He's done so much voiceover work. I believe in the original Voltron, he's the narrator for like the opening sequence.
Voltron, Defender of the Universe.
Yeah. But when he was going in for this job, he in his words, he was talking with his brother who was in the military, and he really looked up to his brother. And so his brother says, "What are you going in for today?" And he goes, I'm going to be a talking truck. But I'm the leader. I'm the leader of the good guys. And his brother gave him the advice. He goes, if you're going to be the leader, be a leader who's strong enough to show that he cares, yada, yada, yada. So he took that to heart. And when he went to the audition, he basically said, I imitated my brother. So the voice of Optimus Prime is Peter Cullen's brother. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it actually is. I kind of...
So a couple other figures that I just want to highlight real quick, and so I'll get straight to transforming this. So, as this is the one that came out at the same time as that Megatron we showed in our last video. That he was turned into like a Nerf gun.
So he's thicker.
Yeah, this is the classics, Transformers Classics version. It's a pretty cool figure. It's been done several times in different colors that represent different things and stuff. So it's been a well received mold. I'll transform this one while Noel's transforming
and you'll probably do it.
This one doesn't have a trailer, obviously, and stuff, but it's a pretty solid figure. Optimus Prime. Anytime there's a new iteration of Transformers, you can guarantee there's going to be an Optimus Prime for the most part. Or at least some sort of thing that's like Optimus, like in Beast Wars.
Sure.
You got confused.
Yeah.
Optimus Primal is not Optimus Prime, but
apparently.
it's basically the same idea, for being honest. And last episode I showed Masterpiece Megatron, and this is Masterpiece Optimus Prime. So this one transforms into a pretty realistic.
He's got an axe.
Yeah.
Do the other ones have
There's one episode of the cartoon where Optimus Prime pops out this Energon.
Energon, that's the stuff they eat.
Out of his hand.
Not
Megatron popped out
an
Energon mace, and they had a little bit of a duel on a dam, I believe it was.
That's cool. So is this the only toy that came with the Energon?
No, he's come with other iterations of Optimus Prime have come with axes as a result of him having this in that one cartoon. But this one I don't think I'll take time to transform today, but I'll show pictures of it on the screen. This turns into a pretty realistic depiction of Optimus Prime as he appeared in the cartoon. You can kind of see. And when he transforms into the truck cab, that's pretty realistic too.
So serious question.
Yeah.
When he's a truck, are those his eyes? Is that what he looks out of? Is that how he sees?
Sure, that could be your headcanon. It could be his It could be his headlights if you want to too. This one had like
what if it's raining? He can't see.
The Matrix can be seen in this one too. This is more like the cartoon though, because in the cartoon this chest would open up, and then you have this panel here that would fold down, or in this case up. Yeah, folds up, and then the Matrix is inside.
Wow.
Okay.
Can I see?
Yeah.
Oh, that's neat.
The batteries still. Yes, the lights up.
Woo! Yeah.
There's the Matrix lighting up, and he had if you press the button on his back. In the cartoon, he was famous. Yeah, Optimus Prime always has a faceplate.
Yeah.
And we've never seen what's below it in any kind of fiction except for Optimus Primal. But when he talks, his faceplate jiggles. So I don't know if you guys can see this or not. We'll hold up their clothes.
Oh, that's really cool. That's like in the movie.
Yeah. So you can have him. You can pretend like he's talking.
Oh my gosh. What would you have him say, Dave?
Transform and roll out.
I am Optimus Prime.
I am Optimus Prime.
Megatron sucks.
So,
is that what he would say?
Optimus Prime.
He's throwing his gun.
He's throwing his gun around. Optimus Prime is just, he's like John Wayne. Before John Wayne,
Yeah, he's totally John. He's totally John Wayne. I love him.
Yeah. He's my favorite. He's my favorite Autobot.
Yeah, I'd say he's my favorite too.
Yeah, and that's easy to say because he's the leader of the Autobots.
I know, but he's just so cool.
So this is the original. This is, like I said, a reissue of the original toy, Optimus Prime. And
this is heavy, surprisingly heavy.
Yeah, well, a lot of them are die-cast metalers for a couple of years.
This feels like it's probably at least a pound or two.
So die-cast metal costs a little bit more. So as production prices increased over the years, they switched to just all plastic because you don't see.
Okay, so the toys today are all plastic.
Once in a while they'll do it, like this one here. This masterpiece model, he's got metal on him too.
Yeah.
So they'll do it for special occasions, but as a general rule, you're not going to see too many metal toys coming out new anymore and stuff. So, what else do you want to know about Optimus Prime before you start digging in here?
I don't know. Do you want to so we know he has like a lifespan.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about that a little bit, or are you afraid you're going to spoil things for people?
Optimus Prime, as a result of the 1987 movie, Transformers the movie, the animated movie, has gotten the knack of anytime he's in fiction, at some point, he's probably going to die.
Yeah.
And he'll either get resurrected, or someone else will take over for a while and then get resurrected. But that's kind of his thing. So, he's in some ways he's like Jesus in that regard. He's like the chosen one.
I don't know about that.
He had in Japan he had this trailer called God Bomber. So that kind of.
Oh, it's all connecting.
It's all connected.
So here's a question.
Yeah.
Which Optimus do you like better, the 1984 animated Optimus or the first live action computer generated?
Well, they're both Peter Cullen.
They're both Peter Cullen. Yeah. But do you have a...
Well, for pure nostalgia, it would be the cartoon probably. The cartoon's got its issues because if you watch it again as an adult, you can see all the goofiness that you as a kid you could ignore.
Dare to be stupid.
Animated errors and things like that.
You got the touch.
But full disclosure, when I went in 2007 to watch the first live action movie.
I went with you.
I got a little teared up when the opening thing is Peter Cullen's voice. He had not been Optimus Prime for like 20 years at that point.
Yeah.
Gary Chalk, the guy who was Optimus Primal in Beast Wars and Beast Machines, and he also then went on to be Optimus Prime himself too. So Gary Chalk's a voice actor, and he's actually does live action roles too. You can look him up. He was Optimus Prime for what they call the Unicron trilogy. So it was Transformers Armada, Transformers Energon, Transformers Cybertron. He was the voice of Optimus Prime for those too. So for a little while, prior to Peter Cullen coming back in 2007 and up to today, essentially, although there've been a couple other guys do Optimus Prime and other more recent cartoons. But essentially, prior to 2007, Gary Chalk was actually Optimus Prime longer.
Really?
Than Peter Cullen was.
Have you ever met any of the Optimus Prime voice actors?
I've met Gary Chalk at a Transformers convention in 2012. I got to pose with him and my oldest daughter, and when she was with me.
Did you cry?
No, I didn't cry.
You weren't a big baby.
I'm not that big. I'm a big baby, but I'm not that big. The cute story about that was that after that day of conventioning was kind of winding down, Marlo and I were sitting outside of the convention center in Dallas. And Gary Chalk happened to walk by, and Marla was napping on my lap.
Yeah.
She was like 8 or something like that at the time. And he just looked down and go, "Oh, she's cute."
Oh, that had to warm your heart.
Yeah. So.
Oh my gosh.
Because she is cute.
She's pretty cute.
She's pretty cute. So.
She's almost 20.
Yeah.
Or she is 20. Oh my gosh.
But Optimus Prime is just the quintessential good guy leader. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, if some people could look at him and go, he's too good. He's, but whatever. Sometimes we need that. We need that hero who's larger than life, who's willing to do whatever it takes to to be right, and
I agree.
Right in a good way.
Yeah.
Not like you're wrong. I'm gonna show you wrong.
No, he's sticking up for like there is good and there's not good, and he's gonna be on the side of good.
The kind of guy who's like, well, we're not gonna stoop to the level of the bad guys.
Yeah,
we're gonna.
I love it.
Be that kind of thing. So we need
kind of leader we all want.
We need more leaders like that.
I agree. Here. Yeah. Optimus Prime for president. You heard it here first.
That's a meme, and I'm sure I'll be putting that on the screen when we get to that. All right, so let's go ahead and get right to it. It's Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
If you don't know who this is now, I'm glad I introduced it to you. Go look it up.
Yeah.
But Noel, let's see how well you do with this one. Now, I'll only give you one hint on this because these original ones are not that difficult.
Ready to roll.
He is a bit of a parts former. I introduced that term a couple episodes ago.
Why are you doing this to me?
It's pretty simple though. If you can't handle it, then we got bigger problems.
Shoot.
The fists aren't part of the truckload. That's it. Just pop the fists.
Oh, so I can pop the fists off. Yeah. All right. Well, where the heck do they go?
They store them inside the cab or they store them inside the trailer or whatever. You got to transform the trailer though.
You would be very fortunate if you have one of these complete. If you had it as a kid, then.
Yeah, I mean, all those things have little parts that pop off. It's hard to.
Do any of these pop off and go like onto his body? Or
no.
Is this okay?
No.
Thank you for that tip.
No.
All right. So while I'm doing this, why don't you tell the story? Because I love this story. Since we're talking about Optimus Prime, of when we saw Transformers the animated movie in a theater for the first time, because it was kind of special. Because let me give you a little backstory before I get working, because then I'm going to focus on this. At the time we started going back to Transformers conventions, which is in like the early 2000s, believe it or not, Transformers the animated movie was not on DVD, and I don't even know if it was still
VHS.
Yeah,
you can find it on VHS at a.
But there were actual like what do you call it? When petitions, people were trying to get petitions to sign to get the movie released onto DVD. I mean, that's how hard it was to find and see. So anyway, fast forward, and I'm going to start right now.
You go right
Ready,
ahead.
set, go.
All right, so we were the original people who did the BotCon, which was the official Transformers convention for many years. Were from Fort Wayne, Indiana. And so they had several of the conventions in their hometown in Fort Wayne. So Fort Wayne, great town to visit. We had a lot of fun going there several times. But across the street from the Grand Wayne Center, which is the convention center at Fort Wayne, was an old style, like 30s. I'm not sure exactly when it was built, but that style, like ornate theater.
Yeah.
If you're the St. Louis here, the Fox Theater. Imagine that, but just a little bit smaller, and in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And so they had arranged to have that movie shown to all the convention goers on one night of the convention. So we cross the street and we go into this theater. We're like, wow, look at this place. It's so beautiful and stuff. We get up in the balcony and, the movie comes on. And I said to Noel at one point, I don't want to make fun of us fellow fans too much, but I said, I've never seen this in a theater. I've definitely never seen it with a bunch of the fans. This could be like
Rocky Horror Picture Show,
where everybody's got stuff they say and stuff like that. So just be ready for anything, by the way.
All right, did I get that? Is that right?
Well, what's the biggest problem you see with that
transfer? Those.
Yeah, and the head's still out.
Oh.
So,
oh my God.
He doesn't drive around with his head popping up the whole time. But this is a classics Transformer, Optimus Prime.
Oh,
that's his truckload. No trailer for that one.
Oh, this is terrible. I'm really not doing well. Okay, there. Okay, so we got that. All right.
So when you took the fists out, what the posts that were the fist holes? What do those look like?
Well, they look like I don't know what they look like because that's the smokestacks.
Look. I'll hold this up to the camera here. Here's what she's got. What's missing around front there, do you think?
Oh, there should be something like a fender. Should that be up here? Oh, that's the head. Oh, it's the headlights. Shoot.
That was the only thing you had.
Otherwise I did pretty good. Now it fits.
Now you got the trailer.
Okay.
Now you got the trailer.
Yes.
So keep going. Your timer's still going.
I'm really excited about
that. She's got the cab. She got the cab done.
All right. Rollers right there.
There's also something really cool coming out this year. I'm not sure if I'm going to get this, which means I probably will. But I'm not sure I'm going to get this. But they're putting out an update. They're putting out a version of this again. They're reissuing it.
Yeah.
Okay. But with modern like hinges and stuff. Okay. So instead of being able to just rotate with the arms and bend the knees like that, he'll be fully posable. You can put this thing in any kind of pose you could possibly think of within reason. And so I don't know if it comes with a trailer or not. I think it's going to be just a cab, but it's the exact same toy done with modern appendages, you know. So like I said, all those different poses you can put in. Not bad, not bad.
I think I got it, Dave. That goes there, right?
So you got to hook it on Optimus Prime now.
Well, that shouldn't be hard because I see a little hole there. Well, that didn't go right. It must go like this. Okay. Boy,
Done.
I have a real instinct for going the exact opposite way that you're suped to go with these
Optimus
toys.
Prime in his original cab form.
Yeah.
I mean, you get points for having it functional as a closed up trailer.
Yeah.
The only thing and this, like I said, this works.
I don't think I did it right.
You could fold that down a little more like that, and
Okay.
that will do the same thing.
Don't lose his hands.
Yep. So
Just imagine when we were kids how cool this toy was.
Yeah.
It was so popular.
In the cartoon, he'll like just eject this and it goes off the screen, never to be seen again. Until he transforms again, all of a sudden it just pops in the screen again. So where he sends it, I don't know.
Transformers physics.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about it.
He shunts it to another dimension.
Yeah.
Headcanon.
I like it.
Headcanon.
Right.
So that's the original Optimus Prime from 1984. Great toy. There's a trucking company out there called Prime Trucking.
What? Oh, yeah, we've seen
If
them.
anyone from Prime Trucking is watching, surely you know of this, and maybe you just wanted to avoid it because, licensing is like that. But there's nothing preventing you from getting nothing but red trucks.
Yeah.
Nothing but silver trailers. And you don't have to put the Autobot symbol on it. But if you imagine driving all across the country, red truck, silver trailer, blue stripes, you're Prime Trucking.
Oh, my gosh. People lose their minds.
That idea is free.
Yeah, there you go. Good marketing.
That idea is free.
Here.
Right now, Prime Trucking has none of that, and I always thought that was a big mistake.
Well.
All right, so Noel successfully transformed Optimus Prime. It's time to talk about beer. What do we got, Noel?
Okay, well, since I'm so excited about this one, and since we did the OG Transformer, I would like to talk about what I would call one of the OG microbreweries we're so fortunate to have around. I'm talking about Schlafly beer in St. Louis. Okay, so
And it is Schlafly, not Schlafly.
Schlafly, it's hard to say. There's an L in it. Yeah. So I've got a lot to say about it. So if you see me looking aside, it's because I'm looking at my notes because I don't want to get anything wrong because I'm very proud of Schlafly beer and I want to share a little bit about it. They call themselves on their website the original locally owned independent craft brewery in Missouri. And I think they have a good case to make for that. So here's a little history about Schlafly. It was founded 30 years ago as the St. Louis Brewery. The founders were Tom Schlafly, he was a lawyer, and Dan Kopman, who was the son of a colleague of Tom Schlafly. And Dan had experience working in a British brewery, and so that's where he brought his brewing expertise. So that was 30 years ago. And basically what they did was they formed this beer company in 1991, and they had some struggles to begin with because there were Prohibition era laws on the books of Missouri that made it very difficult for microbreweries. They could not sell beer anywhere off of their premises. Okay, so that's why, and they also had, it's also very important to mention that there were laws that limited the amount of barrels that they could produce. So it was very hard to be a microbrewery in Missouri. And so the first thing they did was they created a small brew pub on Locust Street in a historic building, and that became the Schlafly Tap Room, and it still exists to this day.
It's like a block away from the new St. Louis City soccer park.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So if you ever go City,
yes,
you can go
close to Washington Avenue,
Yeah.
where there is a lot of good things going on in the bar scene there.
Yep.
So anyway, two things that I want to talk about then before I go any further is, again, like I was saying, I think that St. Louis is an amazing craft beer scene, and I think they owe a debt of gratitude to the guys at Schlafly because they worked very hard to battle those Prohibition-era laws so that they could sell their beer outside of their brewery, okay? And this was at the time that AB, Anheuser-Busch, the macro brewery in town, was at the height of its power. So you're not only battling the laws of Missouri, but there's the big guy in town that you kind of, is not going to really want to give you any leg room, right? And another thing that's interesting is that Tom Schlafly is the nephew of Phyllis Schlafly, who you've probably heard about if you know anything about politics.
Somewhat a controversial figure.
Yes, but also from St. Louis. She was ultra-conservative. She founded the Eagle Forum. And she's very well known because she fought to kill the Equal Rights Amendment.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason I bring this up, what's something I think is very interesting is Schlafly Beer filed a trademark for the beer name, and the family fought it. They went to court. The son of Phyllis Schlafly went to court to prevent them from trademarking the name of the beer. And good news, Schlafly won, so we have Schlafly Beer. And today, you can get Schlafly Beer throughout the St. Louis Midwest region, on the Missouri side, the Illinois side, and you can also get it on the East Coast. You can get it in grocery stores. You can get it at sporting venues. You can get it at restaurants. So it's just wonderful that it's a huge successful microbrewery.
I don't know if you did this research or not, but they've got to be the biggest microbrewer in St. Louis.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think you're probably right.
They've almost got to be.
Yeah.
Who else would be second to them, or who would beat them? But yeah, they've got to be close.
So just to give you a little bit of lay of the land, they have 4 locations now. They have the tap room in Locust Street. They're still there. They brew a little beer there. They have something there called the Ibex Cellar Series. That's where they brew that. It's a very, I would call it ultra crafty beer. They say that's where it's
experimental.
It's experimental. They let their imagination run wild, and they use ancient recipes, but that's kind of a cool thing. They do most of their brewing at Schlafly. That's our dog. Hi, Ronan. Schlafly Bottle Works in Maplewood, Missouri. So that's a place where they brew more than 60 beer styles, and they package and distribute there. They also have a brew pub called Schlafly Bankside in St. Charles, Missouri. And they have Schlafly Highland Square in Highland, Illinois. So there's 4 places you can go to have some food and drink some fresh Schlafly beer if you'd like. They offer year-round beers, seasonal beers, limited releases, and then they have some beers that are exclusive to their particular brew pubs. And one thing that's cool is before you even travel anywhere, you can go to their website and you can find out which beers are on tap right now and which brew pubs they're at.
Oh, cool.
And I would also say one thing that's cool is every time you go to the brew pub, they also have a wide variety of their beers in bottles and cans that you can take home with you. They've got lots of growler varieties that you can fill to take home, and they got lots of cool swag. So, I would say that Dave and I have had the privilege of trying lots of Schlafly beers over the years, and I don't think I've ever been disappointed.
No.
I don't know what your favorites are. You have to say, but I have 3 that I would point out as I think are just all-time greats. They have a pumpkin ale that I think is fabulous. I'm not a huge pumpkin ale drinker, but theirs is outstanding. It's even better than pumpkin pie. Their coffee stout is perfection.
That's good.
But I think their classic pale ale is just perfect. It's just the kind of beer you want to drink while you're sitting around a campfire.
That's
poolside.
one. If you just get a Schlafly, that's the one.
That's the one to get.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Dave? You got?
I can't think of any by name, but in general, I'm a dark beer, Belgian type, person.
Yeah.
So like the coffee stout is a great example of one that's really good. So what do you got for us today?
Okay, so another thing they do. Time to get the beer tasted. Is they have. We're gonna do a 2 for today. They like to put out variety packs. So, like, they did one recently that was called the Winter Warm-Up, and it had a Mexican coffee stout, a raspberry coffee stout, and a Irish cream stout. So it's just fun what their imagination does.
Okay, again, not remembering names, but we talk about the stouts. They tend to put out a special mixed 15-pack or 12-pack called the Stout Bout.
Yes, the Stout Bout is great.
They've got lots of good stuff in the Stout Bout.
So what we're doing today is they put out a variety pack that is honoring the total eclipse that we're going to have in April 8th, right?
Yeah.
So this is the Eclipse pack, and we're going to try 2 beers from it today, okay? We have
the Eclipse IPA.
Yeah, the Eclipse IPA, and we have the Passion Fruit Galaxy Wheat. There's 2 others in it, but we're just going to do these 2 today. Okay. So go ahead and you pour one, Dave. I'm cracking the Passion Fruit Galaxy Wheat. It is an unfiltered
I'm opening the
wheat.
one that you like.
Okay.
And you're opening the one that I'll probably like. So we'll see.
So this one's an unfiltered wheat. It says it has tropical flavors. The Eclipse IPA, they say it's juicy, and it's supposed to have sweet citrus notes and an undertone of pine. They both look like they're almost the same color. Galaxy Wheat looks almost a little bit like pineapple.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll hold them up here real quick while they're kind of dying off here.
Yeah.
So the one here in this hand, this is the Galaxy Wheat, the passion fruit.
Oh, you can tell it's unfiltered.
This is the one that's the Eclipse IPA. So yeah, this one's a little hazy.
It's cloudier, yeah.
This one's a little clearer, but color-wise, you're absolutely right. They're about the same. So
okay.
So let's you got there's your IPA over
All right.
there.
So do you want to do the IPA?
We'll
first?
do the IPA first.
Okay.
You'll probably see me grimace because I just don't like the bitter, but we'll see.
It definitely.
Okay, that's actually not too bad as far as IPA goes. It's almost.
That's very juicy. It's sweet.
Yeah, it's a little bit sweet.
I'm not getting the pine, but it's definitely got an aroma that I can't quite place.
It's very strong.
Yeah.
You could. I'm not sure what the alcohol in this one is, but I think you can taste it a little bit. It's a 7%er, so that's a little on the high side for a beer.
That's really good.
Not horrible, but yeah.
No, that isn't. The IBUs are not overwhelming in that, which is what is driving.
Yeah, I could probably drink with these, especially if I had some meat with it.
Yeah. No, that is very good.
I'm not a fan of bitter.
Yeah. Well balanced.
But I can see if you are a fan of an IPA, this one will please people like myself that are not big IPA fans. You know,
that's good.
Because this one is pretty drinkable.
So now let's go to our cloudy unfiltered wheat. Okay. So passion fruit, huh? It smells syrupy.
When you just have it in your mouth, you taste the wheat.
Oh yeah.
Then when you swallow it, then you get all the different fruit flavors coming out.
That tastes like grain to me.
But for a beer named after a fruit, it's really not fruity.
No,
not overwhelmingly.
But
it's not overwhelming.
The grain on the front end, but you're like you taste those citrusy flavors as it goes down the back of your tongue.
I like it better than the Eclipse IPA, but again, not an IPA person, so that's just me.
No, that's good too. I even feel like this has a little sourness to it.
A little bit on the back end.
It's not sweet. It doesn't finish sweet. This actually finishes sweet to me.
Yeah.
This finishes a little more.
This just kind of has an alcoholiness in it too. That's why I thought it was a higher alcohol than 7.
It just tastes like bread to me. Wheat beers, because I mean, it is.
I'm talking about the Eclipse IPA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
Let's see.
Anyway, these are fun.
This one's 5.5.
Yeah.
So alcohol at least. So yeah.
No, just to wrap this up, that I love the vibe of the tap room in downtown St. Louis. Maplewood Bottle Works is a great place to go in the summer if you have a young family and you want to sit outside. Haven't been to the other 2 places yet, but hope to do that soon. Mm-hmm. But yeah, if you got a chance, try a Schlafly beer. Let's give a hand to Schlafly for really, opening the doors of what I think is a great craft beer scene in St. Louis. So.
And here's the Optimus Prime, leader of the Autobots.
We started with the guy who originated Autobots.
We'll be seeing more of Optimus Prime as we go forward, I'm sure, because again, there are many Optimus Prime toys of them. But as we like to say around here, as far as our videos go, we hope you're enjoying this. If you have any questions, comments, leave those below.
That's right.
Hit all the buttons.
Hit all the buttons. Tell us if there's a beer or a spirit you'd like us to try.
Or if there's a Transformer you'd like to see.
Yeah.
And always remember to drink responsibly and play responsibly. And here we are signing off. Thanks for watching us again from BeerFormers.
More than meets the rye.